Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for coming and welcome to GQUAT Garden Quilt and Art Show, where good friends become family and family is everything. How is everybody doing today? I don't know about you all, but I've been looking at some temperatures. I think summer might be getting over, you guys. Yes, 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 everybody. Maria Graham, thank you for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. So it's still a bit early. I will wait and see if anybody comes. It's 4:01. And thank you for hitting Michael. Hello, Deidre, the analytic gardener. I always have a hard time getting that all. Okay. So not deleting comments. I'm trying to walk and chew bubble gum at the same time. Deirdre, the analytic gardener. Supposed to be 78 and sunny, 66 and raining. You will need to be in the bushes. That's okay. That's okay. My garden, there's not much going on out there. So I hope. Well, when is the rain supposed to stop, Michael? You guys, I don't know. This is the craziest weather this year. Connecticut is more, well, there are hills, like where Yankee Sister lives, it's all hilly, hilly, hilly. But they had houses that washed away here in Connecticut when we had the big storm last week, and a couple of people lost their lives. Their cars got swept away. Sissy, Joanne Stevens, you made it. My sister Joanne Stevens is saying hello to everybody in the live. Don't know. They said sunshine. Well, there must be some sunshine everywhere, somewhere in the world. Our treasured home is saying hello, 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 hello. And for those of you who aren't feeling well today, I hope you feel better. Prayers, love, and blessings. Our treasured home. I think I said that. So, you guys, I'm so excited. So excited. So, let's talk about what is going on. If it's raining, has anybody been harvesting? I know Deirdre's out in her garden, so she must be. I'm watching everybody else. Oh, our treasured row. Oh, our treasured home said, oh, wow, about the rain. Well, you went to the Smithsonian African American Museum this week. Isn't that? Oh, my quilts will be there. Several of my friends' quilts are there. I have not submitted any quilts to there. In fact, some of the quilts I will be submitting, like the one back there, is actually a museum quality type quilt. But you see, I haven't finished it yet. I haven't put the batting in between or put the batting on. But this was a special, special quilt, and I wanted to do something special with it. But right now, I'm crazy, crazy working on my mother's quilt. I talked to her a few minutes ago, and Sissy, Joanne Stevens, mommy was saying that, you know whose birthday it is today? And I said, yes. One of our church mother, Mrs. Sumter, is 102 years old. I have known her. I have known her for at least 75 years, since I was a little girl. When I used to go to nursery school, like preschool nursery school, and Mrs. Sumter was there. Mother, Mike's Chaotic Gardening is saying hello. And my mother asked me, she said, can you imagine being 102? I said, Mom, I got my ice bag over here now. I can't even imagine being 76 today. Actually, I fell yesterday. I don't even know how I slipped and fell. She's having a birthday. Yes. You better dip into the background now. Okay, see you later. And thank you for coming. So, you guys, I have so much to tell you. I was looking for stuff to get ready for today, and I've only had this channel. I've been on YouTube, I think, 2 years, and I went live last year for my birthday. Oh, now my computer's giving me a message about I didn't disconnect something properly, my backup drive, but I looked to see where to do it. These computers are so complicated. You have lists of things to do. It's like a checkoff list before you can even do it. First, I would like to thank all of the moderators. Without the moderators, I don't know how I would have had a channel, because the first time I was supposed to go live, the person hosting me, the Wi-Fi went down. So I just got jumped in. I just said, well, I'll just start talking. Hey, Nikki, the everyday life of an OCD-ish chick. And then the second time I tried to go live, something happened. So I just started doing what I do, running my mouth, and it came out great. Great, 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 great. So if you're here on the replay, I'd like to thank you for coming. Those of you in the bushes, I would like to thank you. Oh, and I just want to say something about the moderators. Before I even had a channel, I had one person supporting me. You're going to plant iris bulbs today, but it's raining too hard. Those are about the only things I do have in there plant wise. Nikki, bless you. You said I'm a natural. Yeah, I can run my chops, boy. I bring it every day. Hello, Kelly. Thank you for coming, and welcome, welcome, welcome. So I have been planning on having a channel at some point, and then Lead Farmer told everybody who thought about having a channel to put a 1 in the chat. But then I had some other health things going on. I'd had some surgery, and I didn't do it. But I wanted to show you a little brochure that I made in my graphic design class 2-3 years ago. Let me see, 2019, January 30th, Ellen Pankey Publishing. I was going to have ellenpankey.com, but now I changed it to GQUATTRADITIONZS.com. And I had a little brochure on how to grow tomatoes. And it's really interesting. And it was telling people who never have grown tomatoes that you can have in-ground garden, raised bed gardens, containers, pallet gardens. You haven't seen anybody have a pallet garden. I made pallet gardens for my great-grandchildren, and I will talk to you guys about that. You can have upside-down hanging gardens. Haven't seen many of those. Mostly people put tomatoes and strawberries in those. And hydroponic garden in water. Who won the WIG Grow Off the first year? AuntieEllen. Ralphie's Kids Entertainment. So salute to the chats and mods. Thank you very much, Ralphie's Kids Entertainment. Or maybe it's Enterprises. I'll just say what it says. Ralphie's Kids Ent. Thank you for coming and welcome. Mala'a. Oh, long time no see. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I appreciate each and every one of you. Well, you know what? I don't know. The closer I get to a certain point on YouTube, I find that like every week I'm getting new subscribers every month. And then I look and my count is going down. I can't figure it out. And the channels that I speak to every day, talk to, their moderators, their personal friends, I find that I'm unsubscribed to their channels. What the heck is going on? But that's okay. We're just going to keep kicking the can forward. But I want to show you one thing. I printed this in 2019. I moved here in my senior apartment in 2018. I planned, oh, Psalm 146. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And tell my bean pie, my bean juice, I said hello. So this is an elderly lady in the building, and she was showing me that was the first time I had ever planted garlic myself, hardneck garlic. And she was bending over with a pointy stick and showing me how to put it in the ground. And I wanted to show you this picture. This was a garden that I sponsored at an elementary school, and I was going to put the cinder blocks and all of this potting soil that I purchased in the back of my mom's, but I skied up and got out of there, ran away, and got this place and a community garden. So I let the children have the blocks and plant tomatoes in the garden. So I'm going to figure out how to pull this up. I did it in Adobe Illustrator and InDesign. Really complicated, really difficult program to use. Oh, and these were actually some tomatoes. These are cherry tomatoes. I want you to know something. I did plant black cherry tomatoes, started from scratch, from seed, by none other than the Yankee Sister Homestead. And guess what? Not a single tomato out there yet. I see others with these big, fat, juicy beefsteak tomatoes, all these designer tomatoes, and I ain't got nary a one. Not nary a one. But that's okay, because until the frost comes, whatever happens, 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 I'm going to be right out there. I'm actually doing a little harvest for Saturday because that's what we'll be talking about. Dolores is saying hello, everybody. And oh, that's where all my new friends and family came from. Thank you, Ten, the educated natural, and all of the newcomers who joined us from there. I appreciate you, Ten. I appreciate each and every one of you. I want to show you guys something, though. Well, first, let me talk about some harvest and some things. I want to show you something because I have been putting up stuff. There is turmoil around the world, and I bought a 25-pound bag of extra long basmati rice because they said maybe you won't be able to get rice in some parts of the world and whatnot. And but I wanted to show you guys something. Those of you who are prepping and taking care of business, I saw this in other parts of the world because people were reusing jars. I always save my glass jars, but I didn't put things that had to be canned in them. I just saved them and stored them. But you see these jars? I'm not advocating for picante sauce or anything. But listen, you hear this? This means that when you heat it, I'm dry canning my rice. Why are you dry canning your rice, Auntie Ellen? Because I'm going to put it in the oven and put it on a low heat, like a 225, 212 is boiling. And I'm going to leave it in there for about an hour or two so that any germs or anything that's in there. Hudson, thank you for coming and welcome. I was just talking about you, or getting ready to, because Hudson was my moderator before I even had a channel. We were on Lady Cheryl's channel, and I was one of the elders over there, and I didn't know how to drop links. And Growing with Hudson was one of the first mods. Then I was trying to do a thank you. And some of you who are new don't know that I am totally pitch black almost pitch black blind in my left eye. So I was copying and pasting the names to make that cute little moderator appreciation. And I didn't see the GWH to put on it. So I took the moderator appreciation down, and I'm going to redo it. And Hudson's name will be on the top. GWH. Appreciate you. I appreciate you. Never. I almost wanted to cry. I never would do that. You know that I wouldn't. So I took it down, and I will be fixing it back. For those of you who are new, my name is Ellen Pankey. I'm a daughter, sister, a great grandmother, chief family storyteller. Why? Because people like my sister Joanne Stevens won't show their face. I am a content creator, writer. I'm writing a family history because I have found that my mother's family has 76 page family history going back to the Revolutionary War. My father's family, I go back, I have photos with my great grandmother, and they were born in the 1800s. Only one of my grandmothers was born in the 1900s. And guess what? I was born in 1948. So when you go to those things and they say you have to put in your date of birth, and it starts like, this is 2024, you get to about 2000, I have to go back another half a century to get to where my date of birth is. So I think that's kind of cute and kind of funny. So that is what I am about. And we have 6 living generations. I just spoke to my mother, as I said, just before I went live, to tell her what I was doing. And because I accidentally got a package over her house that was delivered today. So I buy lots of fabric from Quilt Africa Fabrics. It's one of my favorite places. Doncel Cooper, welcome in, welcome in. Let me say hello to all the people. Did I miss? I want to make sure. I saw one. Mike's Chaotic Gardening, Ralphie's. If there was anybody I didn't see, I apologize. The chat is moving down, and it might have gone faster than this one eye could follow. Oh yeah, I was telling you, I'm totally blind in one eye. 755 Media, I was watching you paint, and I appreciate each and every one of you. And I'm not like whining or anything, because I do all the painting that I do, all the creating that I do with totally one eye. If you just did put your hand over one eye and walked around all day trying to thread needles, Auntie Joanne will tell you that when one time I was legally blind, and oh my goodness, I was still trying to sew. I could see things a little bit, but I couldn't thread a sewing needle. Now I can thread it with just glasses. I would have my granddaughter like thread about 10 hand needles before she went to work, or I would have the kids thread them, or Auntie Joanne would thread the sewing machine. I'd have a big magnifying glass, and it would still take me like 20 minutes. 10, the educated natural. Thank you, and welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Your garden is coming along well. I am so proud of you guys. So I want to talk to you about what is going on in my garden. I told you about the rice, or I started. So you can use one of these plain old jars. Oh, you're welcome, Ted. You're welcome. And those of you who like to save money, you see this jar? It's just a plain jar. Washed it out with a bottle brush. Cleaned it out. But you hear this thing? This will seal just like one of these mason jars. I'm not going to hold that one up because that one's too heavy. This one, on the other hand, this is some produce from the garden, and this is some hardneck garlic that I grew in my own garden. You saw my friend, the other lady, showing me when I first planted it. In this area, we do hardneck garlic. Gina, welcome, 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 birthday girl. You still celebrating? Oh, you're driving home and listening. Thank you and welcome. So this is just garlic, natural garlic, and Hudson. Remember we tried this? Well, the garlic started looking funny, like it was trying to ferment and bubble. So I ended up putting mine in the refrigerator. This one, one of them, I had one kind of olive oil, and the other one was a EVOO olive oil. This one was extra light. One of them got like firm in the fridge. The other one stayed liquid. But look at all this garlic in here. So I'm making my own medicine. 755 Media is celebrating Gina. Gina's still celebrating her birthday. So, whoops. Ugh. These are heavy, you guys. So what this is fermented garlic from my garden. I had a lot of garlic, you guys, and local honey. Well, when I put the honey in here was last September. I put it in a dark place, and look how dark. Doesn't it look like it's molasses in there? That's not molasses. This is fermented honey, and it is an immune booster. So when colds and flus and stuff are going around, I have all this garlic and honey for, say, don't hurt myself. I know, between fall and those slits off the bed. Oh, in my t-shirt, Traditions, that's the name I really wanted. But then I said, well, who's going to know what kind of traditions I'm talking about? So I put GQUAT, which stands for Garden, Quilt, and Art Traditions. But look at a whole quart of honey, and you'd be surprised at how heavy this is. Now, the pièce de résistance. Do you know what this is, you guys? Mr. Arthur Bammett sent me some mullein leaves. They were partially dried, and I am making a tincture. Michael's chaotic gardening, told me to take my happy little self to the liquor store and get some Captain Morgan spice rum, 100 proof, 100 proof. So I'm going to leave it in here for 4 months. So for Christmas, this should be a pretty good tincture, and I shouldn't have to use more than a dropper full in a glass of water, because this should be potent. So what you do is you crush the leaves up, you put it in, you beat them up. I usually put like a third of a jar. Everybody else uses a pint jar. This is a big quart jar. So I filled it up with air dried my mullein leaves. I don't dry my herbs. You guys do it whatever way you see best. I don't use dehydrator. I have a dehydrator. I have a dehydrator even in my air fryer, but I don't do them. This ought to cure any breathing issues, and don't let me breathe on you. And the Captain Morgan was already brown, so I'm shaking this a couple times a day. But look at this bad boy already. Look at this. So as you get older, when you become an elder, you will find that your hands are weaker. So when I strain things, I will use a strainer, whatever. This, because the mullein leaves have actually little hairs on them, so I'm going to put them in a cloth and strain them again. But guess what I bought? Who has ever seen a potato ricer? Because I want to, this is how mother, are you watching, mommy? Egoamote, I love you, mom. I bought Well, the last house that I lived in, the house was sold as is, and the people that got it wanted everything in it. So the appliances were sold as well in the family home. So what you do is you put a potato in there and you squeeze it, and it looks like rice. I don't know if you can see it on the package without a glare, but what it does is, like, if you're making sweet potato pies, my mother makes sweet potato custard pies. Mommy would put maybe well, we made 8, 10 pies at a time. So, but my mother's ricer used to have holes in the side as well as the bottom. So what you do is you open it up, you put the potatoes down, then you squeeze it. But guess what? I'm going to do a shortcut for my tinctures. I want to squeeze every last drop of that Captain Morgan's out, Mommy. I want to get every stinking drop of it. So I'm going to do this. Now, if you don't believe in alcohol or don't use it, that's fine too. There are other things you can use. You can use glycerin. I don't know what Everclear is. Everclear might be alcohol, but I'm not sure. I never used that one. Uncle Captain Morgan and I will be just fine, just friends, and I don't have to squeeze it with my hand. So, yeah, I got a ricer, and my kids love sweet potato pies. Every stinking drop. Yes, y'all. So that is what fell in my cart, and it's stainless steel. This will last another century because my mother still has the one that she had when I was a little girl, and it's still at the house, but it's not as deep as this one. So, Everclear is vodka. Oh, I didn't look. I never tried that one. Okay, so what we are going to do today? Does anybody? Dehydrated strawberry slices in the air fryer are magically delicious. Oh, okay. Okay, but I have a big dehydrator that has like 6 or 8 trays. It's not a freeze dryer or any of that fancy stuff. Everclear is moonshine. Oh, I used to get the moonshine when I was up North Carolina. Oh, and they had apple, they had peach, they had flavors. And even back then, I want to say you could get a gallon. You could get a gallon of the regular corn, but when you got that flavored stuff, it was like $35 a quart. So every year, ooh, I'm not going to tell any secrets. Oh, Mother, I'm not going to tell my secrets across the world. So I'll just behave, and let's go talk about what we're going to do today. Because is it, would anybody like to sew along with me today? Have their sewing machine set up? I'm going to do a project that I have been dreaming of for 25 years. I have fabrics that I've been collecting. Some of them came from friends, family. They were gifted to me, and I cut strips. I have a big box of 25. I don't know if you saw the thumbnail. The of 25 years. You see that big box? Well, it's over there by the sewing machine so I don't trip over anything or drop the computer going over. That whole box is filled with strips of fabric already cut, and I have 6.5-inch blocks of unbleached muslin, and I'm going to sew them on as a foundation to hold them, and we are going over there. Oh, Mr. Hershey, would you like to say hello? I have a helper now, you guys, and she was leaving at 3 o'clock, and Hershey was going to run out the door and bark and chase her out. And I was just telling her, I'm like, I was looking around the room and I said, gee, it looks dark over here in this corner. Does it look dark to you? And then she said, well, do you want me to turn on the chandelier in the kitchen? I'm like, oh, wouldn't that help though? Wouldn't that help? So I am so excited to show you all this quilt because this is how people made quilts traditionally in other countries, in other small pieces. And I have been saving this box of strips for 25 years. Let's see if I can walk over there with the computer. Whoops. I hear bones cracking, y'all. The computer, the phone, the little bell with the ringy dingy, because I am so excited. And I almost finished one last present. I was making the neck bone pillows. This is the last one. I have one more seam to sew. And this one is camo, a really pretty camo. Well, you can't see the camo, I moved it. So that is the very last one, and that project is finished. I will put the bell over here so that I could try to see you guys. So what I'm going to do is make some 12-inch blocks. When they say 12 inches, it will be 12 inches finished, those of you who are sewing. But don't cut your blocks too short. In order to have a 12-inch finished block, your block has to be 12 and a half inches. Why? Because you have a 1/4-inch seam on the left, you have a 1/4-inch seam on the right. So let me show you some of the fabrics that I know are crazy vintage. So I've been putting these strips, these tiny strips, in a box. Some I know came from like my friend upstairs, her grandmother, when her grandmother's been gone from this earth for I want to say 20 years. There were two sisters that lived next door to each other, and they all had fabric. Then other fabrics that I had when they were already in strips, I just saved them and put them in this box. I'm so excited. So excited. This is unbleached muslin. And I love unbleached muslin because my grandmothers used a lot of unbleached muslin. Why? Because it was cheap. It was cheap. Folks didn't have a lot of money back in the day. So, but I like unbleached muslin. Some of it can be very, very thin, like cheesecloth. You don't want that one. But what I'm going to do, this is a 6.5-inch block, and 4 of these sewn together, I will end up with a 12-inch quilt block, right? But I ironed all this unbleached muslin, and I don't know how many, maybe at least 100. I put a diagonal line across here, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to take 8 of these. Why? Because this is going to be a long, hey, Katie, Greenland Quilter. Thanks for coming and welcome. This is actually a project that Katie is working on. Katie, I have been starting this for 25 years. I have fabrics that are vintage from everywhere, and the ones that were already in small strips, I already had stripped up. Some are big strips. And I had some unbleached muslin. Why? Because I don't want all dark colors, bright colors. Looks like I did a pretty good job with my homework. Looks like all these have a diagonal line across them, corner to corner. So let me get 8 of those. 2, 3, 4, 5. I know you can't see my lap. 5, 6, 7, 8. Even though I'm not holding them up high, you'd be surprised how tired your arms get. And I was going to put on something pretty to wear for you all, but I'm like, I am going to have strings everywhere. This is a messy project, cutting up all these, but to keep the edges from fraying any more than they have to, I'm putting them back in this bag. So, what are we going to do? How are we going to start? I like to make things in twosies. Number one, that you don't have to cut the thread. And I like things to be balanced. Like if I have a block on the left side of a quilt somewhere, I like to have one somewhere on the other side, like yin and yang. This is a pretty piece of fabric. And why? Because I like purple. So I'm going to pull this out. I just wanted you to see all these. I'm going to put them in the box beside me, except some of the ones that I'm working on now. Now, these are not cut any special. Any special. Oh, Creamland Katie says, help Auntie out. Hit the thumbs up button, please. And if this is your first time, if you like the content, come on back. We're a family over here. Maybe you'll learn how to quilt, somebody else will, and maybe you will get a quilt. As a matter of fact, if you share this out, when I get to 2,000 family members, we will be doing a giveaway. And one of the giveaway gifts will be a small lap quilt. They say, why a lap quilt? Because that's all you need on the plane, on the train, people in wheelchairs. So this is what we're going to do. We will be giving away a small quilt. We will be giving away a nice tote. As a matter of fact, nope, it's too far over. I won't get that one now. But I want to show you this big box of strips of quilt. This, I'm smiling and laughing because this was a gala. Remember, I don't know what I had, but it's part of it. I had a dress. It was an African dress with a matching head thing. I cut it up. I'm so close. I am. So let's do a couple of blocks. So, because Greenland Katie is way ahead of me on this project. So, what I'm going to do, because this is a long term project with these small blocks, what I'm going to do is every week I'm going to do 2 12-inch blocks. And for those of you who are doing quilts with blocks with strips on it, when you have little pieces like this, triangles in the corner, you can put those in the corner of the block. I'll show you in a minute what I mean. Okay, so let's move some of this out of the way. And what I'm going to do is there's a diagonal line on here, right? I'll get 2 blocks and leave one on some on my lap. So what you're going to do, you always sew your right sides together. I'm going to cut 2 pieces. See, this fabric has been ironed since I don't know when. I don't know when, because I hate to iron. And once I iron fabric, I put it in a box, I put it in a bag, I put it in whatever. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Oh, for those of you who are content creators, put an exclamation mark GQUAT and drop your link. Those of you who are not familiar with each other's channel, go give each other a visit. You might meet new friends and family. One never knows. Do one. So I don't know why I have these big 55-inch scissors. So I know that I have 2 of these. I'm going to put one here, one here. Oh, this is going to work out just peachy. So these 2 I'm going to cut. And no, each block won't be exactly matchy-matchy. So I'm putting, and see, some of this fabric, some of these batiks are so well done. You see, this is the right side, this is the wrong side. You can barely see the difference. You really have to strain to see which is the right side. And guess what? If you don't get the right one there, it doesn't matter. So instead of putting these on the diagonal line, I'm going to put it a little bit over. Why? Because there's going to be a 1/4 inch seam. And we're trying to put it in the middle. So I'm just going to put that big old pin. I think I left my pin cushion in the other room. So maybe since I put the purple one down first over there, maybe I'll put the mirror opposite over here. So we're just going to put the right sides together and put them there. This looks like it's going to be crazy colors. This is going to be the most beautiful quilt you've ever seen. Like Joseph's coat of many colors. And all these colors are just going to be amazing when the blocks are put together. Okay, so let's rock and roll. Okay, thank you for holding your questions until I look up. I will look up. I won't wait till the end I will look up. I don't want to sew my finger again. I sewed it earlier in the month after all these years of sewing. But life happens, doesn't it? So in quilting, you generally use a 1/4 inch seam. So I'm just going to okay, and I'm going to use a 2.5 millimeter stitch, the one I just used, and I'm going to sew off a little bit off the fabrics just so that I don't have to cut it. Then I'm going to sew the next strip on here. Then you just mix and match all the colors that you have. I will look up in 1 second, you guys. Okay, are there any questions? Wellness with Frugal Mama. I was working out with you this morning in the bushes. I work out every morning. A little bit of something, something. I do a little something, something with my art scrap. You see how I cut this little piece off? Well, this you end up with all these little scraps. Like I said, this is a messy quilt. So here's one block. One strip. And then what I'm going to do is open this up. Open this up, and you can iron it. I have so many different kinds of irons. Actually, I will be giving one of these. This is what you call a wood iron. I have several different wooden irons. This one is a round one. And I won't be giving you an old beat up one either. You'll be getting a new one straight from the place where things fall in my cart, and it'll be mailed directly to you. So this is a 6.5 inch square up ruler, and there's a way that you can square up blocks, square up cut blocks or whatever, or just measure them. So you see how that's iron flat. And what color do I want to put on next? Oh, so many decisions. So many decisions. The only thing I have to do is make sure that it goes all the way across. You like the wood roller? This one, I really just have it for show, Katie, because I have another little one that's really flat, and it fits in this little carry-on thing that I take most places. So this is also a wooden iron, you guys. This one, you see how it works, but this one is actually a piece of bamboo, and what you do, you see the rounded end? It does the same thing. You push it flat, but the only thing about this one, you have to be careful that you're not working with bias and stretch it. So this next strip, I put face down. Now I'm going to sew across her. Hi, Miss Shirley. OG Gardner, my sister, how are you doing? How are you doing? Miss Shirley will be going live later on, you guys, 7 p.m. I always try to stay awake until she comes on. I usually fall under the bushes. Oh, so you don't have to backstitch like you do in most sewing or sewing clothes. You don't have to backstitch because you will be cutting these edges anyway. So I'm going to take the back one off, cut in between. Take this from her. You see how Bessie's getting over here already? Cluttered. So now we're going to open this seam. I'm going to put you back so that you don't get lost. Little things get lost in clutter. So I'm a little OCD-ish, so I'm putting it back. So I will be able to just reach for it. So I'm ironing this open with a wooden iron. Now this one I'm not going to use. I don't even remember which, actually I do remember which one I put on there. And some of this is a little raveled. Do you have any questions so far right now? You just want to see how I'm putting this block together. Okay, so I'm just going to put the next one over because it's going to be a colorful, colorful quilt. So I'm putting this next strip over here. You can pin or not pin it, whatever you're comfortable with. If you think you can hold it flat, just hold it flat and go for it. You just have to make sure that you cover both seams. Don't leave a gap where it's a blank. Now, this foundation piecing method, I'm actually going to cut this and put it over there, makes the quilt, if you live in a hot climate, you might not even want to put batting in it. But I don't live in a hot climate, so I will be putting batting in my quilts up here in Connecticut, Zone 6B. Please believe I will be putting batting in here. Oh, here it is. Neatly filed on the floor. Blessings, Ralphie's kids, and thank you very much for coming. And you are going to want to see this quilt when it is finished. So, what colors will we put next? I'm putting this one. Why? No, it's a little wrinkly. See this? This is going to have to be re-ironed because I don't want this over there. But guess what? It was under several strips. So this one is flat. So why don't we put him down first? Next. No, I think I'll put it on this side. Decisions. So you can keep going in one direction. You can turn it any way that you want to. Any way that you want to. And I can't wait to show you guys how it comes together. And again, your strips can be any size you want. I would not go over, say, 2.5 inches though, because the more fabrics you have in there, the more colorful it is. This is going to be amazing. Okay, so I did like that orange in there, so I'm going to put orange on this one too. Do I have to? No. I've got a whole box of colors. A whole box of colors of fabrics. Okay, so I'm just making sure that I've got my 1/4 inch up there. How do I know? Because there's a mark on this foot on the inside, and I've already measured it. I know from this line, let me get my stylus and show you. From this line on the inside of the foot, for those of you who have this machine, this foot, I know that it's a 1/4 inch from this needle to there. So that's what I'm using for a guide. I'm not actually eyeballing it and winging it. I'm actually using the edge of this metal foot to sew a 1/4 inch line. And then, if you don't want to use a 1/4 inch line, if you want to use something else, these are some nice little neutral strips when you got a whole bunch of colors banging together. So let's get something bright in here. Look at all these colors. I think this pink on the top. I know a pink girl who lives in a pink world and who happens to be in here. And I was working on her quilt recently. So some of these pieces on top might be from that pink world of the quilt that I was working on. Okay. So such a happy, bright pink color. I think I'll put it over here. But the magic happens when you start putting all these multicolored stripes going in, arranging them in different directions. I actually love half square triangle quilts because they can be arranged so many different ways. Okay. Okay. Let me. I thought so. I said a minute too late. Let me check. The bobbin thread ran out, but no worries. Why? Because I always have a box of bobbins pre-wound. You can actually buy pre-wound bobbins from different manufacturers. When I had a long arm machine, I used to have a high-speed bobbin winder for the long arm, and I used to do hundreds of bobbins. So it doesn't bother me. Some people don't like to. Oh, and when you put a new bobbin in, you hold the top thread up, and you pull the flywheel forward. You never turn it backwards, and it pulls the bottom thread up. Then you put your bobbin cover back on. You see how painless that was? Those of you who are channel members, you notice all the new emojis with all the pretty colors. So now I have to go back. Luckily, I remember that bobbin was low because where this one stopped is not a big thing. Now, if you're chain piecing a whole bunch of little pieces and you run out, oh, you are cooked. You are cooked. You don't want that to ever happen. So now I'm backspacing. Why? Because I stopped in the middle of a block. Well, Miss Frugal Mama, one thing I'm working on is I went to my rheumatologist last year, and she was saying that I have some shoulder issues. And come out wherever you are. Where did my little block go? Probably on the floor. But I wasn't happy with my arms. I saw you with those 25-pound dumbbells this morning. Auntie Ellen is working on her arms. Her arms will not be photographed in this shape next year. You heard? Okay, so. Oops. I'm not going to bend my tushy over that way. Nope, I'm not leaving. What could. Oh, duh. Right here and hidden in plain view. So, what color? I guess I'll stick some pink over here too. That's okay. We're gonna whoever gets this quilt. I think I'm gonna keep it for. Do you guys know that I don't own a quilt, a personal quilt, except for a memory quilt that I made when my dad passed? But a bed quilt, I don't even own one. All these years I've been quilting because as soon as I finish them, they go out. Someone's waiting for them. or they're for exhibit. Now, yes, I do have quilts that are that I keep just for quilt exhibits, but I never put them on my bed. Never, never, never. So we're back in the saddle again, y'all. Okay. I can't wait to show you how this first block goes together. Are there any questions? So I'm going to put you back over here. And what color next? Oh, just for, well, this one is a little bit wide, but I'll do it just to show you how it goes. Because I'm a purple girl living in my purple world. Dolores, I'm just teasing you. I'm just teasing you, but I do love, love, love purple. So many people love purple now. I told you I have a new helper who loves purple, and guess what? I'm like, you will be getting a lot of purple little handouts and scraps, and she wants to learn how to quilt and do some of the arts and crafts that I do. So God bless her. So I'm going to put this one here. I will share because I have so many projects that I have to get out. Actually, just today, Mother, all of your denim pieces for your quilt are ironed, and I just have to lay them out and start sewing them together and get them to the long armor for your Christmas present, Mom. Okay. Can you all see what all these scraps here? Because I've this side, oh, fudge. This is one little piece that isn't covered. I'll show you exactly what happens when that happens. Like, you see this, you guys? One little piece of the block, one stinking little piece. So that's when I have little corners like this. But I don't think I'll put that one there because that one's too close to that color. I'll just get another one. I will just get another one. Actually, I don't usually do this, but here's a little piece of purple that will just fit it. Just fit it. One little annoying piece. Actually, I will put the flat side there and keep sewing. And when I finish these two, I'm going to show you the language. Oh, fudge. Mother, I wasn't being bad. Oh, wait. Confession. This morning, I was really frustrated about something. And fudge didn't come out. I won't say what did, but my sister Joanne said, "Sissy, you must be aggravated because you don't usually curse." And you said a bad word, Sissy. You did. Your sister said a bad word. Oh, aggravation. Oh boy. But I didn't do it in public, Mother. Okay, so let's see what color we're going to stick over here next. So see that big fat purple one? It covered this whole corner. Iron you down. So that one is finished. This one doesn't have any pink in it, so I will. Am I going to put pink in it? No. Why? Because you thought I would. That's why. I'm going to surprise you. And no spitting on your fabrics and your threaded nowadays, y'all. You remember when your grandmothers and back in the day? Watch, this one's going to do just the same thing and be short. That's okay. I'm still going to use it. I'm still going to use it. Mommy gonna whip those legs. I know it. I know it. my mother can wait though. She'll set you up. You do something you're not supposed to. You think it's over with because you didn't see her for a couple of weeks. Huh? She'd have baked you a sweet little cake. You get there, she'll say, "I heard you. You said this. You said that." Who, the good daughter, Mom? Not the good daughter. Huh? Not the good daughter. Okay. I did not come up in a household where you spared the rod and spoiled the child. Oh, no, no, no. But I didn't turn out too bad, did I, you guys? So look at that little tiny piece over there. And what am I going to put over here? It's not going to be big enough, but just for giggles and kicks, I think I'll put another piece of this over here. Huh. Why? Because I know it will cover the corner. So these are going to be really, really, really nice. I wanted it to have a variety of colors. Any colors you guys want to see in here next? When I say you guys, I don't mean guys. It's like when I say you guys, it's the same as saying y'all. Any colors you want me to put in here next? Michael? Oh, my mother used to tear me up. When Daddy went to work, boy, I said, I am not going in that house with her. My mother till Daddy comes home from work. So I'm going to push this out of the way so that you can see what's going on under all this. So you see the original block here? What I'm going to do is take my scissors and cut the edges off. Cut the edges off. Hi, Mr. Hershey. Hi. You guys, Auntie Joanne called today, and she heard her voice on the speaker, and she asked if he wanted to go for a walk. He started tearing his toys out of his 2 toy boxes and doing all kinds of crazy doggy things looking for Auntie Joanne. He doesn't have anything to do with me when I'm in Arizona. He has no use for me until the plane ride back home. Okay, so you see the back of here? All the stitches where these were sewn. Now, people say, hi, what color you use for your project. No, it doesn't matter, Donzel Cooper, because they're going to be every color in the rainbow in here. Now, me, just because I'm going to go around, what you can do is edge stitch if you want. Some people do, some people don't. It's yours. You can do whatever you want. You can put like a little 1/8 of an inch stay stitch around the edges so that the little piece of fabric aren't flying all over the place. Actually, I think I'll put one more stitch this direction. That's why I'm sewing it on the back, because the front is a little bit uneven, so I'm sewing the edge stitching on from the back. And every once in a while, just stop and check your work. Make sure that all your stitches are where you think they are. Like before when I was sewing with invisible thread and there was no thread in there. But I finally stopped talking long enough to realize doesn't matter what color. Oh. So I can't wait to show you guys just even these two blocks and do the next two. Why do I have these big scissors? Because they don't get lost in all this fabric. Well, just for now, just so I can see where I am, I'm going to take all the thread out. Okay. So I'm trimming closer to the edge over here. So here's one block. This isn't trimmed yet, but a faster way of doing it, because I make 6.5 inch blocks so often, that's where this comes in, and you could just put it right up to your block and trim the edge. Ta-da! And sewing it does take up some of the bulk of it, but that's why I sew close to the edge. That's not a 1/4 inch seam. So there's one block. Let's see how close we are to, aha, guess what? This one is done too. How about that? So normally I take my rotary cutter and a big ruler and do it, but I'm just doing this at the machine now so that you can know you don't have to have all these fancy tools. My grandmother used to just have a pair of scissors, a needle, and thread. One of my grandmothers, she used to make her quilts by hand. Then later on, she got a treadle machine. Then my other grandmother had several machines. There's still several sewing machines at mommy's house. And I have my grandmother's big industrial machine over here in the, oops, I almost cut the wrong thing. So again, oh, this little corner, did I cut that too short? Or I have to put a little piece over here. You're going to go on here this time now. That's when you use little pieces of triangles. If you see a little piece like here that's not covered, the edge of the block, you want to cover everything. So no problemo, because we have boxes of fabric, don't we? Sometimes the strips are crooked. That's fine. Sometimes they slip. It's all in the sauce. I'm so busy cutting that. I want to make sure I didn't cut the thread too short. Sometimes I do that. Alrighty. Remember Graham says beautiful colors. Thank you. This is going to be every kind of fabric you never imagined in here. Maria Graham, I know you have a lot of fabric. This is where you use all that mismatch fabric, and it's all going to come out beautiful. So now this little corner cried, wee, wee, wee. So I'm going to go on the back of here and stay stitch it down, because all these little pieces can be devilish. In the bushes, North X. You ate 10 tacos for lunch and dinner. They must have been some small tacos, Dorothy. I had some shells, tortilla shells, the flour ones, and I was saying I haven't made any tacos in a while. I might have to make some soon. You got me thinking about them now. So this is a scrappy strip quilt because of all these little strips. You guys, Greenland Katie Quilter is working on several quilts, but she's working on one with strips as well. If you go over to her channel, those of you who are wanting to see how other quilters do things, you know, when you're in a group of quilters, no two people do anything alike, and it doesn't mean that somebody's doing something right or somebody's doing it wrong. It's just different style, just like people have different ways of cooking, you know, whatever floats your boat. So this isn't trimmed up close and personal, but it's trimmed enough that you can see sort of where the block is. See this block? Now, oops, I forgot to cut this little corner off. That's why I wore these leggings and old t-shirt. I said, this is going to be a messy quilt. See how this corner little pieces? This will be trimmed. So now the blocks can go like this and more like this. Oh, now that's interesting, isn't it? Isn't it? So we're going to make two more and then sew the block together. How about that? Okay, let's get some other colors going. Let's get some blue. Let's get some blue in here for Michael. Oh, here. Oh, I love this one. This one has all the flower names in it. And we are gardeners, a lot of us, aren't we? Aren't we? Aren't we? So, I will get some blues out. I'm just looking to see what in the world is in here. Oh Lord, here's this red fabric again. I had 160 yards of this red fabric, y'all. I'm going to have to stick some of it in this quilt because I thought I'd never get rid of all that fabric. So let's start on 2 more blocks, and we'll put these right here for safekeeping. So I'm going to sew two more of these 6.5 inch blocks so you can see how you can mix them and match them and put them together. So let's do a blue for daffodil. And I'm looking for the right sides together. I don't like medium colored fabrics together. I like when there's a big contrast, a bright, a dark, something. So let's put this one next. And that's what makes uh, quilts, sizzle. What makes them look really nice when you have a contrast of light and dark colors. So again, I'm going a little over the 1/4 inch mark over here. Why? Because then the seam will be in the center. This one, where are you big enough to go across? No, because you will give us a short corner. Oh, here are some big ones. This is a nice strong color. Any questions, you guys? Thank you, Katie. These kinds of fabric, these calicos and whatnot, you guys are called vintage fabrics. I knew when I started collecting these, this was the kind of quilt I wanted to make with it. Looking to see which are the right sides to put them together. And what's really going to make this quilt different is that there are none of the strips are the same size. They're just a bunch of wonky sizes. So I'm going to make sure that the edges are together. Some quilts I've seen, some strip quilts, you guys, people intentionally put the strips so that they're not even. Like say a 1/2 inch on each side. They're just wonky strips. They have a lot of quilts called like wonky houses, wonky this, wonky that. So I'm just making this so it doesn't hang off too far. And I want you to see the fun. This is like 755 media painting and having a big color palette, just putting bunches of colors and just making it different. That's the fun. So now I'm going to sew these two pieces of fabric. But you know what's funny, you all? I can remember where I got a lot of these different fabrics. What this came out of, what quilt I put this on. 25 years, the past 25 years of quilting, I've sewn all my life. I've been sewing since I was like 5 or 6 years old, and brownies and Girl Scouts. But I didn't start and I made clothes. I didn't start making quilts until I was about 49 or 50. Okay, so now we're going to open these two bright ones up. And you see when you use the bigger strips, what happens? So, shucks, that's not going to quite fit. I'm going to put you here anyway. Yes, red next to purple. Yeah, any color next to any color. Although, you can make light and dark and dark and light. Now, I think I'll put this one here. Decisions, decisions. It's not like I don't have 50 million pieces of fabric there, right? What I'm trying to do is not, huh? I want some more colors. This big, how about this big box? Oh, yes. See, here's some orange. And look at all these colors. How about some crazy? Oh, Dolores. There's some pink. This is unbleached muslin that I might stick in the quilt somewhere, other places. So many colors. Let's get some of this blue out of here. Different colors. Plaids, all kinds of colors. I told you I've been saving up for you for a long, long time. We're making this block different. Oh no, I was supposed to be putting blue in. Look at all these strips cut up, you guys. Uh-oh, some more of that dress that gala I cut up. Lord, that was I was such a bad girl. Ooh, here's some purples in here. But I want to mix it and match it. And do crazy things. Well, here's some different blues. All these strips are cut. Cut, 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 cut. I'll save you for something else. What I'm looking for are a couple of strips. Oh, yes. You know what this is, you guys? A piece of a shirt. The quote that I just did for ARD's dad, this is a piece of the shirt that I saved a corner of just for such an occasion. Hey, Butter Roll Boutique. Butter Roll Boutique, I see you moved in your new place. I saw you. I don't know if I left a message or not, a comment, because I watch on TV and I have to go back sometimes and leave a comment, but congratulations. Congratulations to you. So, what I'm doing for those of you who have come in since I started, I'm working on a strip quilt, and the strip quilt is made out of odds and ends of all of the craziest fabrics you ever could imagine that I have been collecting forever and ever and ever. So, told you this was a messy quilt. I mean, it's messy making it. All right. All right, all right, all right. But I wanted to put a little bit of that red in here because I got so sick of that red fabric. Except this is not going to be big enough. I don't think. Nope. Just a little bit too small. So, looking to see which is the right side and the wrong side. This blue is plenty big. Is this some crazy colors or what, you guys? I love, 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 love this. But you know what? You don't know where the blocks are going to end up when you actually start putting all these small blocks together. This is the fun. The fun of making quilts is like taking a bunch of stuff that doesn't match anything, doesn't go together, and making something beautiful out of it. So just so I can see where I'm going over here, I'll give this a rough chop. The rough little chop. And don't worry, later on I'll get a straight edge and go around and trim these blocks up nicely. So look at this. Oh, I love it, love it, love it. Love it, love it, love it. So what color should we put over here next? Save a piece of this shirt over there. Yes, 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 y'all. So that red, the fabric from the end of the earth. Can you imagine trying to get rid of 160 yards of red of all colors? I'm not even crazy about red. I was giving this fabric away, this red, in 10-yard pieces. 10-yard pieces. And it still took me years. Every time I think I got rid of all of it, I go find another piece. Okay, so let me move some stuff back so I can see where I'm going. Hi, Hershey. Hi. How are you? Okay, are there any questions, you guys? Okay. Just for giggles and kicks. Oh no, I like this orange. I will put it on this side. These little strips just go slower. Or how about this? I like that geometric print over there. So why don't I put a piece of this on there? Wyndham Fabrics. Oh, this is wider than I thought. This was an inch. Well, I would cut a piece going up the middle. That's what I will do. You can do whatever you want when it's your quilt. Take care, Katie. You guys, Katie is 3 hours ahead of us, so she's probably tired. Plus, she goes live about the same time, so she's probably a very tired lady. So, trying to see the front and the back of this, or is this two pieces of fabric? Aha! Sneaky. That was 2 pieces. When you get used to feeling fabric, it's like, only certain fabrics from different places are really, really, really thick. So when you feel one and you say, I'm not used to this kind of fabric being that thick, I had to look and see what was going on. It's going to be a long day tomorrow doing 2 city tours. Aww. Okay, be safe, Katie, and thanks for coming in. I'll be over to visit. I'll be over your house to visit and see what you were doing. In fact, I'm going to go back tonight and see what you did today. After my nap. Okay, so see that red didn't quite cover it. So guess what? And this tiny little piece from the other side that I cut off. Now, because I don't want those 2 to color. How about this? That's going to be wild. Good night, Katie. You guys, I couldn't wait to go around the edge of these 2 crazy colors and show you what happened or how the quilt comes together. I'm going to put you over there. Okay. Let me just cut the corners out so that you guys doesn't look like I'm just sewing a bunch of fabric and sewing so that you can see some type of shape. It's like one of those haircuts that are geometric that you can't even imagine what it's going to look like at the end. So, because these 2 are almost finished. I'd like that geometric piece over there with this one. As a matter of fact, I know I cut 2 pieces. I will put another corner. That is, if I find it. Oh, she's too small. No, I don't want that. I'll just cut a bigger piece. Or am I cutting it too small? Nope. Yes, I mean, no. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is the last piece on this block, and then we can put all 4 together. So that's what I was doing, opening up that long side. And I'll put you over there, my lovely dear. I can see, I know my phone's going to ring as soon as this live is over, you guys. My sister Joanne Stevens is going to say, Sissy, that's a crazy quilt. I can't wait to see it. She loves all the craziest quilts. I used to make a quilt called Ugly Duckling. Oh, my sister loved those Afghans. Remember those ugly ducklings? She probably still has a couple of those ugly ducklings. I took all my ugly fabric, my ugliest fabric, and I would make Afghans out of it. Okay, so I will show you what's going on over here as soon as I trim this a little bit. Oh no! Did I cut it too close? Oh, doggone it! I did. Well, that's okay. You know, with wood, you can't fix it. With fabric, you can. So, now maybe it just needs to be ironed. Mr. Hershey, why are you kicking me? No, it just needed to be ironed. Or did it? No, it's folded. So this is sort of what we're doing so that you can see, but I'm going to sew around the edges so it doesn't turn up. And these 4 blocks are done. Back up. So you guys, I'm just sewing the edge down. The edges down so they don't roll up like this one folded back before. What are you doing, Hershey? Okay. I can't wait to show you. I'll be coming around the corner. Wait a minute. Ha! Ha! The thread broke. Just a momentito, you guys. I just want to the thread tangled up in here and broke. That's all right. We know what to do with that, right? You can't get frustrated. That's life happens. You could be on your job, you could be in traffic, you could be in the gym. Life happens. You can't get upset every time things don't go perfectly the way you want them. Okay, how about these are just regular glasses. These are not readers. How about we switch up and get some readers to thread this machine. Let's put a fresh edge on there. Are you guys enjoying this? You're still here, so I think you might be. Okay, just a minute, you guys. Yay! I'm so excited, Sissy. My sister Joanne knows She said, "You are enjoying it. Thank you." Because to go from being legally blind to being able to thread a machine with one pass, I'm elated. I'm excited. I'm excited. So that's what these good old Dollar Tree glasses do for you, baby. I got them super coolers over there. Boy, they blow something up for you. Blow something up for you. Sorry if my little tushy is sticking out. I just wanted to get a tissue because I'm so excited to show you these blocks. Okay. Let me just go around here really quickly. Really quickly. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. But can you imagine our grandmothers, a lot of them, didn't have dry goods they didn't go to the store and say, give me a yard of this, 2 yards of that. They had to cut up old dresses and old clothes and put them together and cut them up first. Then, launder them, figure out what shape they wanted to cut. I mean, they were literally miracle workers. I saw somebody say, oh, that they had the grandmother's quilt or something, they weren't that pretty. I'm like, how can they say that? The beauty is in the fact that they were able to create something of nothing, something that was already worn out. The Dollar Tree glasses made it possible for me to continue reading your Bible instead of having to switch to the giant print. I do both. I have a couple of giant print Bibles and the Dollar Tree glasses. You do what you gotta do, right? It's your thing. Do what you want to do. I'm so excited to show you guys these blocks. It's like I can't sew fast enough. I heard a funny noise. Just a minute, you guys. Oh, that is the corner. Now, where's the other block I wanted to trim? Right here, where I left her. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing and just trim up the blocks a little bit, just so that you guys can see how they're going to go together. Let me slow down. I'm getting so excited. And that's when you make mistakes, right? Haste makes waste. That's what they say, right? So, just let me. Hey, Queen. You're late, but you're here. Hey, Unbiased LLC. You have all that fabric, all those little scraps. I want to show you what all those little strips can do. Now, granted, they'll be aggravating, all these little pieces. Excuse you, sir. Why are you putting your feet on me? He's jealous that I'm talking to you guys. Sifting some soil. Hey, Mona. How you all doing? I wake up, I set my clock, and I have the TV program. I wake up all the time in the bushes. Oh, you all went to bed early on me the other night. I woke up my usual 3 o'clock, and y'all were gone. The night owls were gone. So, those of you who are arriving to see the finish of these more blocks. So excited to show you how you put together a strip quilt. So this was a big box of scraps that I have been saving for the last 25 years. And I want to show you basically how I just basted them together. Here's one block. Here's one block. They're not trimmed. They're not trimmed yet. And then the two on the floor. What I will do is give them a good press. But why don't I move some of this stuff out of the way so that you can see how you might or might not put them together. So here's a block. These two blocks I kind of made at the same time, but I know what I'm trying to do. I want it to go out this way, and this way. Now, I don't like the light corner next to this one. I'm going to put it, see how turning it around changed it? So, can you see like a V coming here and a V coming here? Okay. So, thank you. So, I'm going to show you I know what. Let me trim this one a little bit more. Let's see, how do I have this? Sometimes can you see the X, the pattern? I think that's how I have it, you know? Okay. Yes, that is how I wanted it. There's a V, and there's a V. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, just to show you guys how you put them together, now I'm going to make a bigger seam. This isn't really trimmed. But I wanted to show you guys how the blocks would go together. And then, of course, I would give it a good press. A good press. And I have a special, it's not a starch, but it's a special pressing solution. And I have stuff, Unbiased can tell you, I have stuff that I sewed years ago. And guess what? It's still pressed using this stuff. Okay, you guys, the magic is about to happen. And you have watched the creation of a strip block. And then I'm going to press one seam going this way. And one seam going the other way. Of course, I will do a spiffy job of putting them together when I show it to you. And I will be making 2 blocks a week and giving you guys a progress report on it, on how to make a strip quilt out of old strips. And they're all different sizes. They are all different sizes. Okay, one's up, one's down. Oh, I can't wait to show you guys. So unbiased, you with all those boxes and boxes and boxes. This isn't all the way pressed down, but I'll show you when I do neatly press one. Ta-da! Do you see how this block looked? I wore a black shirt because I knew I'd have all these crazy colors sitting up here together. See this? Now every block is going to be different and have all kinds of fabrics and colors. And is the bottom block, they're 6 1/2 inches unbiased. They're 6 1/2 inches. Remember when I was talking about that 6 1/2 inch ruler that's going to come in handy that I told you in Maria Graham about when we're talking? This is, and I think you have one. I think I saw you with one. And 6 1/2 and 6 1/2 are 13, but you have a 1/2 inch in the seams on each one. So, and when this gets pressed out, it's going to be even better. So this is how you make a strip block, a 12 1/2 inch strip block, and then you sew them together. Yep, I don't know if you can see this. So can you see the 12 1/2 here? Well, either way you go, it's 12 1/2, 12 1/2. So that's how you get a 12-inch block. Uh-oh, you have that ruler. Yes. This is one of the blocks that this dog went there, got a toy, brought it all the way in here, beating it up. So it'll look much better when it's pressed, well pressed. But I wanted you to see it. Do you have any questions, you guys? All of you who have all those boxes and boxes of scraps, that's all this is, just strips of nothingness. See? They're not even the same size, same colors. This is a piece out of the shirt that I cut up to make ARD's father's quilt, but I wanted this piece to have, and here it is, right in this little corner. So when the quilt's put together, I'll be saying, oh, I remember that. Oh, I remember this was 160 yards of fabric I never could get rid of. So you don't like to cut the scraps? Oh, these were cut like when you're straightening up fabric, when you're cutting your yardage. This is 25 years of putting these aside. It's not, I didn't sit and cut these. These have been cut, some of them 20 years, 25 years. And I knew that one day I had this quilt in mind. Another time is when I sat a little bit at a time and I cut out over 100 6 1/2 inch blocks of unbleached muslin. Another time I sat and put the pencil marks going diagonally across there. You don't do it all the time. She doesn't like to iron or cut scraps. This wasn't scraps. This was yardage. This was 100. This red, That's why I'm laughing. This red was 160 yards. This was a gala that went to one of my good African dresses. Do I have any sunflower scraps? No, sweetie, I don't have. Actually, I think I saw a couple of little pieces the other day, Psalm 146. I will look and see because when I looked at them, I said, what am I going to do with this little thing? I said, I know somebody has some, but oh, guess what I do have in here, Psalm? Where is it? Oh, remember the fabric you sent me with the daisies? It's in here in this box. That's why I asked you if you minded if I cut it because it was going in here. So unfortunately, unbiased, you're gonna have to go to some quilting guild or something where they have boxes of these old scraps and put them together. This was a bunch of discombobulated-ness, but look how nice this came. Okay, so Egawamote, you guys. Now it's time to say goodbye. Love you, Mother. I love you guys. In American Sign Language, I. This is an L. This is a U. I love you guys. Thank you for coming. Feel free to cut it. Oh, I'm just cutting up boxes. I'm doing a little bit at a time. This is just going to be a hot mess that I'm cutting up. And I'm only going to do 2 blocks a week. We just did one. I will do one more. Appreciate y'all. Oh, don't forget, I have a little outro as soon as I get down to it. This